We have a ton of big updates thanks to Tony Khan speaking out at the AEW Full Gear media call. He took the chance to speak with wrestling media. He had a lot of things to say. I want to uncover some very important stuff that comes from this stuff. But most importantly, guys, AEW has Full Gear coming this weekend, and I understand a lot of people are kind of, not too happy with the build. A lot of people are kind of uncertain with what AEW's actual motive is these days. One day it's ROH, the next day it's AEW. It gets kind of confusing. So we're going to talk about it. As always, timestamps in the description down below. I want to kick things off with the AEW Owen Hart Foundation Cup, right? This is actually a really interesting thing. So I think AEW has gotten to the point where I think tournaments have kind of hurt the company in a sense. But one thing I like about the Owen Hart Cup tournament is that it's a tournament inside AEW that has an opportunity to do wonders for talent. Now, I think the biggest mistake that AEW made when doing the original Owen Hart Foundation Memorial Cup tournament, whatever you want to call it, giving it to Adam Cole and Britt Baker was not needed. And I think that is very evident right now, November 17th, 2022. I think it's very clear that those two absolutely did not need to win this tournament. And I've always believed, and I said back in the day when this was a thing, that the tournament should be used to catapult talent. And those were two names that didn't need to be catapulted. They were completely strong on their own, great booking. I get why AEW made that decision, but ultimately I didn't necessarily agree with it. Now, Tony Khan has confirmed that it will be coming back in 2023. Now, keep in mind, AEW has a great deal with the Owen Hart Foundation. We know Owen Hart's going to be part of the AEW Fight Forever video game. So obviously they're keeping his memory alive. And I think it's actually a really, really good idea by doing so. I don't really like tournaments in AEW because I feel like tournaments have kind of taken away from the product and their great ability to storytell. Now, with that being said, if AEW is going to bring this back, I would really like to see AEW make one significant change, and that is please give the tournament to those who actually need it. There are a ton of talent on AEW's roster. Maybe they're going to ROH. Maybe they're staying in AEW. I think it's absolutely important for them to be given this opportunity to be in that spotlight, win the tournament, and let's have this tournament mean something for those who win it. Let's use this as a bouncing pad to the top. I think the same could be said about King of the Ring. If you guys have watched my videos on King of the Ring coming back, I've said the same thing. King of the Ring needs to be serious. You need to have the winners come out of it looking strong. And I think it's really important that Tony Khan does the same thing with the tournament. Ultimately, though, I'm excited about this. I think it's a great idea. And I'm glad that Tony Khan and AEW are going to continue this partnership. Just a small little fix. Give it to somebody who needs it. Adam Cole, Britt Baker, they don't need it. It's not necessary for them. And yeah, let's build on this. This could be a good thing for the future of AEW. If you're doing it every single year, make it feel important to the company. A lot of people want to know what's going on with CM Punk. Obviously, we've brought out a couple updates in regards to CM Punk. Is he leaving? Is he staying? What's the situation with CM Punk? Well, Tony Khan actually won't clarify what is happening with CM Punk. In fact, he won't even specifically clarify whether or not CM Punk is actually done with AEW. So much so, he's actually dodging the question. He's dodging the question on the media calls. He doesn't want to talk about the investigation. He doesn't want to talk about anything from this incident. And I think, Tony Khan's in a shitty situation because if you look at it from the perspective of being the boss, Tony Khan failed that night as the boss, right? Tony Khan was put in a very tough situation. I wouldn't want to be Tony Khan. He had the opportunity to cut off CM Punk. He even says he had no idea what CM Punk was planning. The thing is, Tony Khan, as a leader, for whatever reason, has chosen to not publicly comment on this stuff. He keeps avoiding it. He's rapidly changing the subject. Instead of talking about the investigation, he would rather promote the pay-per-view. And I get it. I understand. But at the same time, too, there is a little bit of lack of transparency here because he will not confirm whether or not AEW is in a situation where CM Punk will be coming back to the company. Now, of course, this is a big deal because a lot of people who care about AEW and care about CM Punk, they want to know what's happening. Plus, there's rumors that WWE could potentially be interested in him. Plus, there's the rumors that AEW is just literally trying to figure out the buyout situation. As it stands right now, there is zero clarification on this. Of course, the dirt sheets are saying, yes, they're working on a buyout. Don't expect CM Punk to come back in the company. Another thing that a lot of people are often forgetting about is the fact that CM Punk is actually injured. Another thing that people got to figure out is whether or not CM Punk even wants to wrestle anymore. There's a whole bunch of reports coming out about this, and the thing is, Tony Khan is not offering any sort of transparency, and I don't know what the situation is with the investigation, but I do want to make it very clear, AEW did actually announce that the Elite are coming back for Full Gear, so if they're coming back, I think it's safe to say that their time suspended is over with. What do we do here, right? Again, just lack of transparency. It kind of gets annoying, but if CM Punk is actually getting bought out from his contract, I'll keep you guys updated. But just for those who are wondering, Tony Khan is not answering questions on this, and he's making it very, very clear at these media calls. Very interestingly, though, Tony Khan is not afraid to say what he thinks about the Thunder Rosa situation. So basically, for those who don't remember, Tony Khan was put in a weird spot because there was reports that came out that Thunder Rosa was injured. Then there was some other stuff that came out that said she wasn't injured. Then there was some talk about some backstage issues. Tony Khan basically gave his thoughts on this World Women's Title situation. And he says it's something that they've considered in regards to them stripping her of the title. It's something to consider. He says he's still weighing the pros and cons. Thunder Rosa is a great wrestler, and it's unfortunate that she's injured. It's kept her out a long time. It's not an easy situation. And I try to take everything on a case-by-case situation, but I am trying to give Thunder Rosa every opportunity to come back and defend the championship, but eventually you would have to crown a lineal champion. Now, the situation here is interesting because Thunder Rosa is the World Women's Champion. Toni Storm is the interim champion. The idea is the interim champion is going to hold the belt until the world's women's champion comes back, right? That's how it works in sports. The idea that she could be vacated, I think if they do that, it's strange because Toni Storm is not the world champion. So I feel like if they're going to strip Thunder Rosa from the belt, and I understand a lot of people will disagree here, but I think if you're going to strip her from the belt, I think it's actually really important that you strip Toni Storm or whoever holds that interim championship belt. You need to completely vacate it, do something to crown a new winner because she is the interim champion. She did not beat Thunder Rosa for the belt. Therefore, she's not the real champion. That's how I look at it. Tony Khan is not afraid to talk about this. I find this to be extremely interesting for AEW because I think their women's division is definitely improving. There needs to be a little bit more work done. I never liked the idea of interim championship belts, but if AEW is going to go through the route of stripping Thunder Rosa of her title belt, then I think he has to strip Toni Storm or whoever holds that interim belt. It's simple as that. And then you could start fresh. Now, the cool thing about AEW is when Thunder Rosa comes back, whether she's stripped or not, they're going to have some sort of payoff with her. If she does end up getting stripped, I believe that Tony Khan will give her the opportunity to win it back, via storyline. So there's opportunities to get her back in the fold if they do strip her. I always believe if you're injured, just get stripped of the belt. I don't agree with interim championships, but that's kind of the situation we're at right now. So it's a very big possibility AEW could go down this direction. I don't necessarily disagree with it. I just think if they're going to do that, they have to go completely vacant, and that's not a problem either. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and subscribe for more.